Joining us now is Ojinika Okpe with stories trending around the world. Genex, hello.
Good morning,
Thank
Dr.
God it's
Bati.
Friday.
TGIF, happy Friday. You know how I get on Fridays. Tundu Abiola.
You're positively giddy, darling. Good morning.
You always look so beautiful with this look. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you look beautiful always.
Thank you. Good morning, Rufai.
Hi.
How are you?
You got the memo?
Yeah.
No, it's not the same color.
Well, it's
Okay.
that.
I'm just messing. Oh, yeah. Well, okay, great.
Close enough to it.
Yeah.
Well, all right, TGIF. Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe.
In the United States, Facebook on Thursday changed its corporate name to Meta as part of a major rebrand. The company said it will better encompass what it does as it broadens its reach beyond social media into areas like virtual reality. And Dr. Uchechi Iweala, son of Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, broke a medical record in Maryland. On Thursday, the WTO boss announced that her son was one of the first spinal surgeons in Maryland to perform a successful navigated lumbar spinal fusion using a robot. In the United Kingdom, 19-year-old Daniel Hussein, who stabbed two sisters to death at a country park in Wembley on June 6th, was sentenced to life in prison on Thursday. Hussein embarked on a campaign of vengeance against random women because he thought it would help him win a lottery prize of £321 million. In Uganda, Peace Mutuzo, the country's state minister for gender and culture, has come under fire for blaming high teenage pregnancies recorded in the country on energy drinks. The minister also accused manufacturers of the energy drinks of using attractive brand names to lure young people into consuming their products. Under sports, 67-year-old businessman David Henderson was found guilty on Thursday of endangering the safety of an aircraft that killed footballer Emiliano Sala. The 28-year-old footballer died when the private plane organized by Henderson crashed into the English Channel in January 2019. Finally, under entertainment, a new drama series based on the life of late Argentine footballer Diego Maradona is set to premiere on Amazon Prime today, October 29th. The 10-episode series promises to reveal little-known details about the turbulent life and times of the legendary player who battled alcohol and drug addiction.
Ladies and gentlemen, here comes Diego Armando Maradona!
They say he's gonna be bigger than the King Pele.
God only knows what this kid will get into without football in his life.
You're on the crest of a wave.
Columbus conquered America, but we are going to conquer Europe, Diego.
Well, let's begin what's trending. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, on Thursday slammed The Economist over its controversial article titled Insurgency, Secessionism and Banditry Threaten Nigeria, which accused the federal government of ineptitude while lambasting the Nigerian military, alleging that it's often sold weapons to insurgents. The minister, at a press briefing in Abuja, said the claim by the magazine that jihadists were carving out a caliphate in the northeast was inaccurate, especially at a time when terrorists were surrendering in droves. The minister recalled that back in December 2015, Boko Haram had established its caliphate in the town of Bama in Borno State, where it hoisted its flag, collected taxes, as well as installed and removed emirs at will. But today, Boko Haram has no caliphate anywhere in Nigeria. The minister also recalled when the Economist Intelligence Unit predicted that Atiku Abubakar would win the 2019 presidential election, when indeed President Muhammadu Buhari won re-election by over 3 million votes. He urged the Nigerian media to disregard the article and play the role of a watchdog. Well, all right, we have, at length condemned some portions of that article by the Economics. But I believe the Minister of Information has information, and he should know by now that we all know that in Niger State, Boko Haram has hoisted their flag there. And over 500 communities have been captured by Boko Haram. So it's very important to also tell the truth when you are giving out information, Tundu Abiola.
Yes, the truth is key, but beyond that, or in addition to that, is this watchdog, not lapdog phrasing that he used, and I'm sure you bristled, Dr. Abati. Dr. Abati does not want anybody telling journalists how to do their job. You can't stomach it, can you? But for me, I also have a problem with that, because I think the Nigerian press, if at all they are free to report everything. And you trust the public to make up their minds. The Nigerian media did not regurgitate, to use the minister's words, the Economist article and say this is the gospel truth. They regurgitated it, to use his word, to inform the public. It is up to you as the reading public to now decide how much of it is true, how much is false. I said that I actually have a problem generally with the lack of nuance, with the way the West reports on Africa. It's racist and condescending too often for my liking. But I can read it and come to that conclusion on my own. We don't need to be patronized as the Nigerian public and be spoon-fed half-truths and, government propaganda. It's just completely unnecessary in a democracy. So the same way the media regurgitated the minister's speech in full, lambasting them, is the same way they should regurgitate every other thing that is newsworthy. The public will decide.
Well said, Tundu. Dr. Abati, your comment.
Well, Tundu, yes, you are right. I don't like carpenters, teaching tailors how to do their work. Nor do I think that, people should comment on how journalists should do their work when they have no competence or knowledge in that regard. But that aside, we're talking about the Minister of Information here. So he's speaking within the context of the assignment that he has been given, and maybe perhaps as a newspaper reader. What is his point? I think he acknowledges the fact that under Section 22 of the Constitution, the media plays a watchdog role, and that the media can indeed be a partner in the development process. What he objects to is a situation whereby the Nigerian media becomes an echo chamber for the foreign media, or becomes a lapdog for the foreign media. And he was making the point that when The Economist wrote that damning piece on Nigeria, the Nigerian newspapers and other platforms merely echoed what The Economist wrote without necessarily interrogating. And he went ahead to show that, look, The Economist is behaving true to type, because The Economist in his reckoning has never seen anything good in Nigeria. Well, he cited the example of The Economist's prediction in 2015, as you pointed out, and how that prediction did not work. Well, journalists are not prophets. They are analysts. They report the news. So even when a journalist says, well, this is likely to happen on the basis of these facts, the circumstances may change. So that's not a big issue. However, what I think is not fair is to say that the Nigerian media is made up of lapdogs. And in this particular case, I can prove it. Mamu Jega of Daily Trust wrote an article in which he was defending Nigeria, in which he argued pointedly that the economists cannot just dismiss Nigeria like that. Because if you look at it, even the US government failed over a period of about 20 years in Afghanistan. Were they able, to fix the Taliban situation? In fact, the US eventually ran out of Afghanistan. He started the example of the British government with the IRA in Northern Ireland. And he said, look, even the British, they were saved, the British saved their face with the Good Friday Accord, right? Yeah. And that, look, if a country has challenges, security challenges, you don't, on the basis of that, just dismiss the country. Now, to his argument about how the economists may be unfair, I wrote an article Tuesday, this week, back page of this day, in which I was also critical of both the Wall Street Journal and The Economist. And my argument is that, look, whatever The Economist or Wall Street Journal may have written, what we should also realize is that there is a bias against Africa. Africa as the dark continent, Africa as the subhuman space, and the kind of story that sells to a Western audience is any story that puts Africans down as an undeveloped set of people. And I wrote about parachute journalism, and that in any case, the Nigerian government does not need to continue to engage, Wall Street Journal and The Economist, that what is important is for us to push our own narrative.
Yes.
And not waste too much energy on rejoinders. Now, a guy called Frederick Nwabufo has also written a piece, The Economist and its gloom and doom predictions about Nigeria. And Frederick Nwabufo, was defending the Nigerian government, saying that, look, The Economist doesn't ever see anything good in Nigeria. Okay, I've cited 3 journalists, even if I'm one of them. And I'm sure there are others who hold that view. But to just generalize and say Nigerian journalists and all that, it's a question of mischaracterization. It's a matter of perspective. So we should not be blamed, for whatever anybody says. Minister Lai Mohammed should stay with the basic arguments about what he thinks the faults are with, media houses, international media houses that stereotype Africa, that stereotype Nigeria, and that mischaracterize the situation in Nigeria. And all he needs to do is to provide superior arguments. He's not in a position to give a lecture on how the media can do its work, because that's not an area in which he has the required competence.
All right, required competence. Rufai, your analysis on this.
For me, it is the hypocrisy that shocks me. Please, let's not forget, and let's get facts right, Honorable Minister. In 2015, The Economist predicted that President Buhari was going to win. I remember the APC went to town with that prediction. In 2019, in fact, in 2015, The Economist endorsed President Buhari. When they wrote that article, Dr. Abati, you remember that article against Goodluck Jonathan?
I wrote a rejoinder.
Yes.
I wrote a rejoinder in which I also attacked The Economist.
The Economist.
At the time.
So, but when they predicted that APC was going to win, Mr. Lai Mohammed saw nothing wrong with it. In 2019, they predicted that President Buhari was going to win. They saw nothing wrong with it. This report comes out now. I'm not saying that the Western media reports anything good about Africa. Don't get me wrong. But I will enunciate 2 points. Number one, are we not the ones that give ourselves to them openly? Are we not the ones, federal ministry, that's going to announce bid for airports on Financial Times? And now you begin to say otherwise. That, yes, they never see anything good. But I remember how they went to town in 2015. When the same economists predicted that their candidate was going to win. What is my point here? I think in all of this, we're even missing the subject matter. The subject matter is, how can we improve the welfare of those soldiers that are dying every day to fight for the sovereignty of this country? That nothing is being done to their family.
Because really, that's the highlight of
I think those are the most important issues. Secondly, how can we ensure that the cause of the problem in the north is solved, which is poverty over the years? See, in 1983, after the Metisani riots, a panel of inquiry was set up to look at what caused the riots. And they discovered that poverty was the reason that if you don't empower the young people in this area, more riots and more chaos will befall the north. That was in 1983-84. That report was dumped. Nothing was done to improve the welfare of the people. It is because of that you are seeing Boko Haram fighters earn less than 20,000 naira and they can kill people for it. Those are the issues we should factor. Let's leave the West alone. Let us focus on our own internal problems. The fact that we want livelihood to return to areas in Borno and some other parts of the country that used to have their own livelihood. The fact that food security is being affected because of all of this insurgency. We all have problems. But the question is, let us look inward and solve those problems now.
Well said, Rufai.
Except that on the claims made by Minister Mohammed, he said that in 2019, The Economist predicted that Vice President Atiku Abubakar will win.
Sir.
We may need to fact check that.
But it was
and
the Economist Intelligence Group.
Yes, which is part of the group. That's exactly what he said.
The Economist magazine normally is separate from the Intelligence Group.
With this one, it says
Intelligence Units.
That was what he said.
They predicted that President Buhari was going to win in 2019.
So are you saying it's the magazine?
It's the magazine that predicted that President Buhari is going to win.
But on the facts, the minister was right.
Yes, he said
He's saying they predicted that it will be Atiku in the Economic Intelligence Unit. And it was also right that in 2015, the government of Nigeria was able to seize the flag that the Boko Haram had hoisted in Bama local government area. So on those facts, he's right.
But what about Niger State? We don't know this. We don't know the fate of Niger State. We'll take another story. A video now making the rounds on social media captured some men wearing military camouflage, claiming to be members of the security outfit known as Biafra National Guard. The men were seen filling up their tanks at a fuel station and stealing provisions from a grocery store in a quest for the liberation of Biafra. Let's take a look.
Yes. Biafra National Guard, the commander of the Biafra National Guard. War for the liberation of Biafra has just begun. Today is day 2 of our glorious week. Today is day 2 of our glorious week. You can see the Biafran National Guard are already on ground and they are on the move to go and liberate the prisoners of conscience, Mrs. Oyekachi Ochi, and the rest of them. This is Biafra National Guard, and as you can see them, they are all on alert, heading for the move. You can see them in their various vehicles, ready for war. The war for the liberation of Biafra has just begun. Yes. Yes. These are the Biafra National Guard, fueling every vehicle that they are embarking, they are going to use for this journey. And this is the commander, General Innocent Oji. So can you tell us what's happening here and what is happening?
We come back from Israel.
That's right.
We want to tell you that other presidential caliphate hold. Since the hold, this is Sonika Church. That's why we are from Kano. That's why we come back from Israel. We are from 30th of October, this free boat. Sit at home. We are going to redeclare the sovereignty of Biafra nation. No, nothing pass. God, they are from pounds. I will here for 30th upward.
Yes, long live Biafra National Guard.
So, I mean, this is the whole idea now. I believe one of the men was shot yesterday by the Nigerian army. I mean, this is the main reason why we see that the Operation Golden Dawn was, stationed in the southeast. Can you imagine the effrontery for these guys to come out boldly, to film themselves, to say that they are going to war? Tundu Abiola.
Right, yes, it's extremely disturbing.
Yeah.
Quite chilling.
It's incredible.
In broad daylight,
I know,
walking around in camouflage.
Broad daylight.
In the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Broad daylight. Dr. Abati, your comment on this?
Well, I mean, the statement put out by the Nigerian Army spokesperson claims that, members of the Biafra National Guard attacked the troops, Nigerian Army troops. And it was as a result of that, on account of that, that they had to fight back. Now, the army does not do, I've always argued about the army not doing police work. But whatever it is, whether the Nigerian army, the soldiers were acting in self-defense or not, we always condemn any form of extrajudicial killing. So we have had the side of the Nigerian army, but I still think that this is something that should be investigated.
Absolutely.
Any uniformed person, whether it's the civil defense or it's the military or it's the police, I mean, they cannot just go around at the slightest provocation saying they are acting in self-defense and shooting people. So it's not enough for the Nigerian army to put up that defense. It must be investigated. The chief of army staff, himself should take an interest in the matter to establish the truth so that people do not, invent different kinds of narratives.
Yes, unbelievable.
Right?
Yeah.
Situation is already tense already.
Yeah.
We can't afford to allow things like this happen and keep festering. Please, all of this must stop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll take our final story to brighten up your weekend. Well, it's not often you come across a video showing a billionaire businessman dancing on TikTok. Well, here's a video of Femi Otedola showing off his dancing skills with his beautiful daughter, actress Temi Otedola.
I don't want to reason bad things no more. I don't want to go back to where I did before. Make nobody I sip my alcohol. I don't wanna reason bad things no more. I don't wanna go back to where I did before. Make nobody stress me, not disturb me, I sip my alcohol. I don't wanna reason bad things no more.
How beautiful was this? I love to watch this video. It's like everywhere right now, trending. But, you know, it just seems like the billionaire businessman who has been caught up in this controversy with, you know, First Bank, whether or not he's the largest shareholder or not. It just seems like he's unbothered by it. Dr. Abati, your comment on this?
Yes, I saw that video yesterday. It was truly trending.
Yeah.
Femi Otedola's shoulder dance.
Yes.
You know, it's good to see that he's not just an entrepreneur, that he also has other talents. That's one. And you know, his last daughter, Temi Otedola, is a fiancé of Mr. Easy.
Yes.
So Mr. Easy is a very lucky man indeed. When next he wants to do a musical video, he has two for the price of one. Temi, his fiancé, can dance, and his billionaire will be a father-in-law, you know, can also just join. Well, I hope that, what's his name? White Money.
Yes. In
Big Brother Nigeria, who is famous for a particular dance style. You should just watch this video and learn how, you know, rich men dance. Whether it's shoulder dance or dancing on one spot. But beyond all of that, I think this is really nice. About parenthood. You know, Femi Otedola in particular has a very good relationship with his children. And on social media, you see him bonding with them all the time. I think, you know, other fathers should emulate his example. That it's not just about business, you should also create time for family. And he seems to be a very good example in that regard.
Absolutely.
And in any case, when he retires, you know, maybe this could be another line of business.
Mr. Easy should I need to pick your brain about pop culture. How do you know all these things? I have no idea about these.
Because you're not on social media, that's why.
Mr. Easy and
No, Dr. Bati is on social media, so you're not on social media, that's why.
Dr. Bati is cool on the Urban Dictionary. And speaking of Femi Otedola, he tweeted recently to Mr. Easy, he's like, Mr. Easy, take it easy on my angel. So that's the thing. But I think, you know, for the sake it's Friday and we want to keep a happy mood, I don't know, maybe we could try the shoulder dance starting from Dr. Abati.
The shoulder dance?
Yes! Dr. Abati.
Dr. Abati, you can do the wriggle.
When I get to that level, yes, I can also afford to just dance in the living room.
This is so
At the moment,
very nice video.
Let me do what I know. Let me focus where I have.
Well, we've seen you dance. We've seen you dance.
Speaking of the word focus, you know there's a focus dance.
Oh, really?
And it goes.
Okay, that one.
I'm completely out of it.
Sorry, Tundu. I'll take you out.
Why don't you do that dance? You do another dance, you don't do this one.
But that's not how they dance it, though. I don't want to start dancing on international TV.
That's so fun.
Thank you all. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Janex.
Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you next week.